Lucky you're with Amy. And Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.
Good afternoon and welcome to Winners. Hope you enjoyed the showdown. The other game played today was at the MCG between league leaders Essendon and Carlton.
Porter used the body pretty well, then cleared the path. Camporelli, Silvani just gave it to Beaumont. Good kick for position. Lappin, he worked so far up the ground. Heffernan with the job on him this afternoon. Bradley, we saw him in the goal square a few moments ago. He leads right up in front of Lappin. Out to a big pack on the wing. Whitnell is the target. Wellman despoiled. Here's the body beautifully, then Lance. Wheels around. Pinpoint kick was meant for Fletcher. Didn't get anywhere near him. Caracella as the Bombers switch play. Fletcher's got a couple to work with on the wing. One of them is Barnes. Surprise, surprise. The other is Jason Johnson. Freeborn worked pretty well. Johnson got away, though. Numbers went out, and he knew that he could get clear. Mercury for the first goal of the afternoon. Second time lucky. Yes. Mark Mercury kicks the goal.
Well, a great start for the Bombers there. That was a quick transition from half-back, and certainly Freeborn did everything he could to try and prevent that turnover, but Johnson too strong down low. And that's a great finish from Mercury. We're just looking at the replay here. Barnes has just missed a shepherd there. Freeborn takes the body and just nearly does a great job there for the Blues. But Johnson breaking clear, getting his feet quickly. And a wonderful finish. This is trademark Mark Mercury, isn't it? Steadies from 45 out and splits the middle.
Michael Mansfield's got the big job on Mercury today. Mercury's been down on form in the last month, so a very important player to the Bombers.
Well, Porter came in late then, but got the tap. Whitnell's moved all right so far. And now the Blues going forward. High tackle on Camporelli. Advantage paid. Whitnell's got a chance. He's got a big chance. And he's kicked a goal. Emphatic stuff from Lance.
Wow, what an answer. What a quick reply. Lance actually started off the, not the front of the square, but the side of the square in the half or flank wing area. Rushed in quickly. That's a wonderful opening. Camporelli got one eye here. The umpire did the right thing, called advantage, Shorey. And it opened Whitnell's opportunities right up. And the big fella couldn't have asked for a better start to the day, could he?
Well, Sean Wellman's been playing nearly as a wingman for the Bombers. Now he's got to pick up Whitnell. It means he's got to put some defensive thought process into that man. And he's a dangerous forward. So yeah. Sean Wellman, he has to pick up his game and make sure he does defend against a player like Lance Whitnell. A
lot going on in the goal square. See Bradley, I think he's trying to get under Caracella. Caracella getting onto Bradley now, out of the middle. Camporelli. So the Blues have settled pretty well after Essendon kicked the first goal. And it looks like we're in for one of those terrific struggles between these two sides. Masidi. Lucas. Oh, extra shove from Silvani. He's going to pay the penalty for it. The physical element of this game is going to be very interesting.
Well, that was undisciplined by Steve Silvani. That's going to be out of bounds.
Well,
both players were over the line.
It was smothered by Silvani. The kick goes to centre half foot Franchina, an unlikely player in the mix of all that. I'm sure he's probably trying to get onto Caracella. Bradley flicked it out the back. And there is the man, Caracella, who's been one of the Bombers' best this year. Fletcher, wobbly kick out wide. Barnard and Hardwick teaming up. Still it's going on behind play. Bombers getting it to half forward. Alessio, Houghton is his opponent.
Well done, Sess.
Yeah, very well done. McVeigh floated it for Barnard. Traffic went past and he gets it into Hurd. He's got two to beat. Porter to try and spoil and did that very well.
He did, didn't he, Hutto? He just worked so hard to get back there to give Beaumont a helping hand, assist him, because James Hurd one-on-one's a tough proposition, but Porter worked very hard, and it's good early signs for the big fella as well, having missed a little bit of football recently.
A great matchup. Rat and Masidi are going head-to-head today.
That's good to see, isn't it?
Weather could play a part if we get some rain this afternoon. Beaumont, as always, with the job on Hurd.
Fair bit of feeling already. You can sense that I mean business, these two teams. There's Matty Allen on the bench. Plunkett, Looks like Houlihan. And, of course,
Prendergast, I think.
Prendergast, yep.
Hurd wrapped up straight away. That's a throw. And the umpire spotted it.
You're on your game early, Hutto. Well done.
Mansfield. A lot of players out on that wing. It was over Silvani. Said always favoured Lucas. Was trying to get Koutafidis into the game, I think. Lucas has got penetration on it. Barnes is down there with Houghton. At the back, Lloyd. Rice under pressure. Was it holding the ball? It wasn't. It won't matter. Barnard kicks the goal.
Well, Lucas has done the right thing there, Hutto. He's taken a good grab in the first instance over the back of the pack. But you've really got to cover his left side, because he just swings into that left foot, does a good kick right to the hot spot there. Interesting, not much for contest. And it's Moorcroft who's done the hard work there. The 1%er allows Barnard to sweep and mop up and kick a very convincing goal. So Barnard's move to the forward line has paid off already for the Bombers.
2-1 at the MCG. Porter beaten conclusively that time. Hickmont, Fletcher out wide. Now Camporelli, he has got space to burn in here on the wing, and that's what he does best. Cooter leads in the goal square. Bradley goes a little bit shorter. Unlikely leader Franchina, working hard for it but didn't have much to go to. Lucas, who's been to all parts of the field so far. Carousella under the gun. Lappin did a good job. Bit of an initial fumble, but here's Lucas again, getting the possession, driving. It wasn't a great kick because Hickmont's so strong at the contest. Whitnell coming through. Hickmont, persistence pays, and Hickmont kicks across the face. Cooter, brought it in. Lappin's a specialist at that, and it's 2 goals all.
Sevens Football Telecast, proudly brought to you by West End Draft, McDonald's, Mac Your Day, and Mitsubishi Motors, driving your world.
Mitre 10 understands that getting the right advice when and where you need it can save you a lot more than money.
I'll tell you when it's level. I'll hold it.
That's why we've introduced the Mitre 10 advice line. 136310.
All right, so, yep, we can fix it.
So now you can call any day and get expert on-the-job solutions that will save you time, money, and even face.
I have to chisel a bit off the other one.
If the Laser LXI's list of features makes you dizzy, wait until you see the price. Ford Laser, outstanding value from just $19,990.
Oh, look at that! Bob's now selling us on 18 months, no deposit, no interest.
18 months?
Well, that's almost a year and a half.
Oh, please sell him, Bob.
It's cashback time right now at Radio Rentals. Yep, not only will you get a great deal from Radio Rentals, they'll send you a cashback cheque on all sorts of products. Like a Simpson 6-kilo auto washer for $6.69 or $5.70 weekly rental, your cashback cheque $30. Or an entertainment package from Panasonic for $22.89 or $20.10 weekly rental, your cashback cheque $110. Yep, it's cashback time right now at Radio Rentals. They know their stuff.
There is one university that gives its students real-life professional experience. Experience that better prepares them for entry into their careers. And because the modern range of degree programs is designed in consultation with industry and the professions, a graduate's degree can very quickly become a career with a high degree of satisfaction. The University of South Australia. Experience the difference.
I can make a difference. I'm an IT consultant. I get everyone's problems. So it's nice the Canon S600 has something for everybody. Separate ink tanks save money. Up to 15 black and white pages per minute. That's why I depend on Canon.
The footy season is shaping up to be a thriller, and we're giving you the chance to share in the action. For your chance to win a trip to Melbourne and 2 tickets to the 2001 Grand Final, be watching Sevens telecast this Sunday.
Just like Crown Force,
At Wood, we're turning this into a community garden.
it's a spectacular garden makeover. But Crown Force never ended like this.
I'm getting my zucchini! Not to the Guinness Book, people, see it!
An all-new, all-crazy Dharma and Greg tonight. Then, could it be? Has Karen met her match?
I'm getting a little woozy from the boozies seeping from your enlarged pores.
Oh, honey, they're not enlarged. They're just in shock over that hair color.
Ha! Unlikely. Will and Grace tonight on 7.
Welcome back to Winners. Let's rejoin the action in the second quarter.
Fletcher, big kick in. Porter late on the scene, but takes the mark with authority. Camporelli was almost run down by McVeigh, but not quite. Beaumont, who's Hurd's opponent this afternoon, sets it up, wasn't good disposal. Freeborn went backwards for Hickmont. Saw a couple of Blues leading out very wide. This is Houlihan. Whitnell came through to make his presence felt. Quick kick. Silvani, he's inside 50, but doesn't have a shot. Went for the pass instead, and it was a good decision, as it turns out.
It was a good decision, and it's the old heads of the Blues that are just setting up so well for their team today. And I reckon there's a couple of matchup issues for Sheeds out there at the moment, isn't there, Short? I mean, Sheedy doesn't seem to, unless the Bombers are winning it, he finds it hard to get a correct matchup, and at the moment that's a bit of a problem for them.
And Scotty Lucas is playing as nearly a defender, which means Steve Silvani's still a forward. You're not putting any forward pressure on Steve Silvani up the other end.
So Ryan Houlihan, we know how much talent he has. He's kicked 20 goals, 12 for the year. Has been a big player so far for the Blues in his career. They're hoping for even bigger things from him, and that is a terrific kick. And now Carlton open up a very handy 26-point lead.
Very, very handy indeed, and it's going to be a big job for the Bombers to get themselves back in. But the Carlton have kicked the last 5 goals of the game, and they've done it just through sheer persistence and pressure on the opposition. They have players pushing forward, prepared to run, and Houlihan running into space is the very welcome recipient of a good chip pass from Silvani. But Essendon have got to arrest this game and start to take a bit of control, particularly out of the middle now.
So plenty for Kevin Sheedy to think about at the moment, with the margin out to 26. Barnard, Jason Johnson, trying to get some run into this Bomber team. He did it in the second quarter. Look at Lloyd from behind. He did it in the second quarter against the Kangaroos, Johnson, as did Lloyd. So they're trying to do it again. This time, of course, the margin much different. But so far, the Blues standing up beautifully. Silvani, Lappin, Heffernan late on the scene. He's played a terrific game, Lappin, hasn't he? Under really close attention from Heffernan.
Well, he's just as comfortable upfield as he is close to goal. So he's and he's good overhead. So it's a hard matchup.
He's had 3 marks, 7 kicks, 7 possessions, 2 goals. Porter got the hand to it. Houlihan.
Just watching here, Shorey and Fish. Looks like Joe Mercedes gone half forward flank now. Picked up by Adrian Hickmott.
The other one, Steve Silvani, is pushing back and giving Carlton someone to kick out to once they win possession in the back half. Luke is not putting any forward pressure on him at all.
Ratton working it backwards. Lappin again. A wobbly one. Oh, it was always going to be a cruel bounce. Bradley probably trying to be a bit too cute on that occasion. Carousella, Fletcher can loop the handball over the top. Solomon had run for him nicely. There's no one inside 50 at all, so there's no use bombing it. At this stage, he does bomb it. Oh, Hurd, how did he get there? He got there so quickly, and you must pay credit to Solomon because he didn't just bomb it straight. He pushed it wide and gave somewhere for Hurd to run into.
That was just great play by James Hurd. We were watching as he shorts pass and not good.
Lucas almost turned it into a goal. In fact, he did. Oh, he turned it into a goal-scoring opportunity anyway, and he's kicked it.
Well, the good thing about that piece of play, Shorey, was that Solomon had the presence of mind to run and carry and wait for something to open up, and James Hurd just worked really hard and found the space.
Look, he zigzagged behind Beaumont, and Beaumont lost him. But just here, not a great kick. And this is where I'd say just before, Lucas has to put forward pressure on Silvani. Yes. He's got to get forward and kick goals. That's what he does well. So, you know, he pushed forward that time and he converted.
So it's back to 20 points, and Wayne Britton also getting pretty animated in the box. Alessio, Ramanauskas, Freeborn, Ramanauskas coming in. That was the late tackle. Bratton locked up by Forster Knight, who I'm sure will do his best to stay right with him.
Just a move being made here by Kevin Sheedy, boys. Moorcroft off the ground. Danny Jacobs has gone forward. A mismatch there for Rice, Dean Rice.
It looks like they're fixing it up now. Doug, as we speak, Fletcher's gone back to him, and Rice is moving up the ground, and we'll see whose direct opponent may be in a moment.
Yes, Rice just off the contest, but Lucas right in amongst it. Gets it in quickly. McKay always leading his man to the ball, and he's now on Solomon.
Rice is actually coming off Hutto, and Prendergast is coming on to replace him.
Houlihan, Lappin working hard. That time Heflin in very close attendance and winning the one-on-one battle.
McVeigh's done a good job on Camporelli after the first initial 10 to 15 minutes of the first quarter. He's quietening him down. Camporelli still had 9 possessions to this stage of the game.
Porter and Alessio. Porter winning it. Mercedes, Hurd. It was a good handball. Mercedes had the time and the space to find McVeigh. Lloyd leads to the proximity of around 50. Takes it.
Well, he hasn't had too many opportunities, Matty Lloyd, to run into space. And sometimes a bit of overzealousness that can creep into a forwards game, and they go a bit early. And then on that occasion, he judged it pretty well. He timed his lead, and he was found. And well, Mountain was still sweating on him, so it was a pretty good grab in the end. This might test him, though. He may even be moved up the ground. He may have been playing off half forward at the moment.
I think they were breaking down there, so Sheeds just said, we're not getting the ball to him at full forward. Push him up to centre half forward and see if he can run Manton around.
Freeborn off for Plunkett. Matthew Lloyd with 79 goals for the year to try and get it to 80. It's a big kick. It's a big kick. And they're just outside the hands of McKay. So 2 in a row for the Bombers.
I think we just found out what Matty Lloyd's distance is from goal, because that was just through by a whisker. But it'll be a relief for Matty, because he has been worn like a second skin by Manton. As he said, it's the first opportunity he's really had to lead by Manton. As he said, it's the first opportunity he's really had to lead to space, Shorey.
I think James Hurd going in the centre too has helped him. It's just stabilised that area. He's created a lot of opportunities for the Bombers after he's moved into there.
So Lloyd's got his first mark and goal, and the margin is back to 14 points. Franchina in the middle on Caracella now as the tap came down from Porter. And there he was getting a half possession. Hurd having an impact out of the middle, getting it in quickly. Manton had to work overtime. Could have got a free for hanging on. Did well, Manton, did very well. Uses Mansfield on the way out. Now Plunkett looks down the ground. Whitnell's leading into space. Will he honour the lead? He does with the kick. Wellman right with him. Well done, Lance. Had to work really hard for that. And did. It's on the wing. It's a long way from home. Cooter was the first option. Went longer for Hickmott. In amongst 4 Bombers, but no one touched him. Little short pass was on. Big Porter pushing forward. Alessio late on the scene. Was a bit awkward. The Blues want 50. And the umpire says yes. And Alessio is angry.
I don't agree with that. He had to go in that contest, Alessio.
Wasn't he?
Yep.
It looked like, and I only say it looked like, McBurney got conned.
Yeah, I think so, by the crowd.
And the Essendon players. But he was late, Alessio. He was late, but how late?
We'll have to see the replay, but I just think he was committed. He had to go. All it was a mark.
If he hadn't have gone, he would have been off the field. The coach would have been happy with him.
Porter kicks the goal. The margin back to 20 points. There's a bit of fire in this game.
Grevilleas, your garden's little battlers.
They're toughies. There are some species that will grow in all conditions possible.
Plus, create a little mushroom magic in a gorgeous tart.
And it smells divine.
It's easy to make and low in fat. Tuesday on Better Homes and Gardens. Then,
I'm going to take you to an island paradise where you won't have a worry in the world.
Ernie explores the delights of roads. And go croc spotting in the magnificent Kimberley.
There's a croc.
Tuesday on The Great Outdoors.
After 18 months at the Royal Military College Duntroon,
you'll have all it takes to be a true leader. Today's Army is looking for tomorrow's leaders. So call 13 1901. The Army. The Edge.
All kinds of people go to dine at Manny's. All kinds of people just like you and me. Millie does and Billy does and even Auntie Lily does. Mum and Dad and friends and family. So why do people go to dine at Manny's? All kinds of people just like you and me. We'll ask them and they'll tell you.
Quality.
Value. Every day's a feast at Manny's Fish Cafe. So come along and join the feast today.
Is this where the Zoom Zooms come from, Dad?
Can I help you?
Do you say Zoom Zoom?
Sure do. If you listen quietly, you might hear one. It's a great time to buy a Mazda. Right now, we're selling the Platinum Series. They're loaded with features and come with our unique 6-year warranty and roadside assistance. Well, did you hear any Zoom Zooms?
Get a great, great deal from the great, great guys and drive a great Australian Motors car.
If you want a complete financial service, investment, lending, insurance and more, a service handled professionally by caring people so your money is secure, talk with the people at Patrick Whelan Investments, because at Patrick Whelan's, more than 30 people will be looking after you. Professional, fully qualified people will take care of all your financial needs so your money works hardest and you'll have a secure future. Phone for an appointment. Patrick Whelan Investments. Professional, caring, secure.
You need hands to hold someone you care for. You need tender hands to guide them on their way. You need hands to show appreciation for the way we feel today.
All Rockers stores have an RAA registered repairer workshop.
In a Rockers workshop, save on a full service and tune-up. You get a Castrol oil change, new oil filter, high-tech tune-up, new plugs and points, gearbox and back axle top-up, plus a 68-point written safety check, all from a low $132. And with every service and tune-up, get a Kenco car valet pack free.
Whether it's a big job or a small job, you can rest easy knowing that a Rockers fully trained mechanic can fix the problem.
Well, we're cheaper than the others, rocking around the brothers.
Points the difference.
I was looking for Hawk then. I thought, oh no, don't tell me.
Well, we have another idiot on the ground. Perhaps I should have said.
Oh.
Only joking, Hawk. Out of the middle. Hurd, Johnson. Gets them inside 50. Charging work from Solomon. Good work by hand. Mercury, Ramanauskas. Oh, he just broke clear. That was great stuff to watch. It deserved the goal. And he finished it off nicely. What a game.
Oh, this is very entertaining stuff, and the centre breaks are proving critical. That was fantastic poise from Ramanauskas. He's actually become known for that, hasn't he? He's balanced over the ball, and he just found another gear. Johnson out of the centre again. Very familiar story for the Bombers. Solomon, quick hands, and Mercury found the right option. Here it is.
Just tell me, does that look like a young Peter Matera the way he did that then? That's who once I watch him, I think, gee, he looks like Peter Matera when he was a youngster. And just then you could see the way he just held his body, pushed it around and kept balance.
That's a pretty big rap, Shorey.
Oh, no, it is. I just think he plays like him.
Yep. Is that a mismatch now? Prendergast on Ramanauskas?
Oh, yes.
Short term, though, I'd say.
Porter, who's controlling the rucks at the moment. Bradley. Ramanauskas again going in.
Free kick to Bradley.
Carlton's way.
He was slung after he got rid of the ball.
Alessio again, I think, in amongst it.
Needs to take a big deep breath, Seth, because he may still be a bit unhappy about the last decision.
Using Hickmott. Now Whitnell's led to the pocket. Kicks it for the space. Wellman will get there. And the ball just beating them both.
We've had a change. Hickmott has gone to Lucas, and Silvani now has pushed the full back. So, you know, Scotty Lucas has got to put some time in Adrian Hickmott. He works very hard during the game.
Strange opponent for Silvani, isn't it? Solomon, the other end of the ground. Jacobs in amongst there. Here's Lappin. They all went down except this man, Hurd. Penetration on the kick. Solomon from behind. Silvani mopped up beautifully. He had Blues running all the way around the other side of the ground. Prendergast ignores them and goes longer. Went for Whitnell. Wasn't a great kick. Too much on it. He had the loose plays breaking to the outer side. Didn't use them. Fletcher takes the mark. And now the Bombers can switch. Hurd who really has started to come into the play in the last 10 or 15 minutes, and that can only spell danger. Had the audacity to take a bounce, and his kick was a bit proppy, to be honest, but it's okay for Solomon, who wanted to get it back to Hurd, and in the end that was crazy stuff. Plunkett takes it away. Hasn't got much to go to apart from Whitnell. The kick had to be pinpointed, so it was anything but pinpoint.
Well, are we seeing a shift here ever so slightly, Shorey, because Bombers have started getting on top around the middle, and now it's the Blues just with some indiscriminate kicking. And Hurd stepped up in this quarter with 7 possessions, and he's made an impact on this game.
If Jimmy Plunkett's got one problem in his game, it would be his penetration with his kicking.
Alessio very strong at the footy. Full credit to Porter. Ratton has been a bit quiet for the last 5 minutes. Only had 15 possessions.
Oh,
he's gone.
And he's rewarded. Hardwick.
Big stage for the young fella Plunkett. I don't think he would have done this too often.
Interesting handball, that one. Wellman had to kick pretty quickly. Hurd from the side, didn't go. Beaumont did, and the Blues controlled it. Hickmott waited with a handball. Ratton, Forster Knight is just right on him. He is wearing him. And another bounce.
You know, it's not uncommon for Sheeds to give a big job to a young bloke and say, well, here's a chance. Do you want it or not?
Well, he had to do it because Mercedes, you know, Ratton just had too much of the ball in the first quarter. I think it was 13 possessions. And Forster Knight, he doesn't have to get a kick. Fisher, all he's got to do is stop Ratton having a touch and not worry about getting a possession himself. That's the type you'd have to play on Brett Ratton.
Yeah, big job for an old bloke too. Craig Bradley's picking up Jason Johnson now.
McKay gets it away onto the wing. Well, Hardwick was scratching hard for it. Ramanaskas. Fletcher with a chance. Can really get it in quickly and get it in long. McVeigh's got away. Just misjudged it slightly. Lloyd, recovered it beautifully. Didn't have a shot. Gave Heffernan the chance, but also gave the Blues defenders Lappin, and they just take it through from behind. Ooh.
Well, it's just going to be size and shape at times at the moment because there are so many changes happening down there. It's pretty hard to keep up with. And the boys just have to do the best they can at just manning up the most appropriate at any particular time.
Silvani and Kuda exchanging kicks. Lappin leads close into the middle. That's good delivery. Thought he might have played on then. Forster Knight ran past on Ratton. Very close to him still. Goes out very wide. Searching and finding Prendergast, who could be the matchup for Lucas at the moment. The readjustments continue. Alessio's pushed back inside defensive 50. Porter there with him. That's the direction of the kick. Porter. Superior judgment on that occasion.
He's got very good hands, hasn't he, the big fella?
Bolton on the ground as the extra defender in this contest. Went for Kuda. Bolton to spoil. Did that well. Well played, Bark Bolton, and gathers it and was able to release the handball. And this is where Ramanaskas really comes into his own. Streaming through the middle. Links with Heffernan. That other one over the top. He kept on going, Ramanaskas. He could go for home. He could go for home. He passed to Hurdy, who wants it and gets it. He's paid the mark. Well, anyone else, and Ramanaskas would have had a shot for goal, I'm sure.
Well, doesn't this guy earn his possessions, sure? He's run almost length of the ground there to be on the other end of it. But that was great by the Bombers. They controlled the ball through the midfield. And it's not always about speed and length in this game. You really need to control it, as Ramanaskas did with the chain of handballs around teammates. Ended up with it. And that was a fine kick to the advantage of Hurd. As we see some changes swinging as Lessio's come off for Barnes, and Allen's now coming on for Porter.
No worries for James Hurd. Another one of those mongrel punts that went right through the middle.
Well, he's been the man who's got him back into the game. Ramanaskas has had 6 possessions also in the second quarter. The other thing is Camporelli's only had 1 in this quarter, so McVeigh's done a great job. What about Mark Bolton in the defence then, though?
Wasn't a great effort for him.
Well, he's spoiled, had to be the third man up. Got a great link handball off to Ramanaskas, who sets this up to James Hurd. James Hurd's had an impact up. He went back in to the middle of the ground.
Whitnell's gone back into defence at this set of bounce. We know about the impact of Hurd. Whitnell going back Inside defensive 50 as an extra man for the Blues at the moment. So they'll get it forward here.
Well, Wellman's in no man's land, Hutto. He should be back there.
It's a two-man forward line. Koutafidis and Plunkett, the only two there, and they do it. They combine. They might combine to get a goal. Ratton working it back. Lappin going for his third. Oh, and he's right. Offline, just away to the left. Gee, that's one that they really could have done with.
They could. I would have thought, Shorey, what would you instruct your players to do in that situation? Whitnell's gone back, the back of the square. Would you instruct Wellman to stay back in the defensive side of his territory as well?
Yeah, I think Wellman would do better playing there loose than what Whitnell would do the other end. Yeah. And now the tide's turned. Essendon getting on top. So I think Kevin Chitty would have said, well, just leave it because we're on top at the moment.
Had to work pretty hard for that one. Couldn't take the mark. Going to get a free Bolton for in the back. Interference at the marking contest. Able to move it quickly. Here's Hurd again. No.
Hold on.
It's 50, is it? Against Hickmott. Or is it a...
No, I think the umpire's busy having a chat to Hickmott and Heffernan.
Yes, it is 50. No.
No, we're not. No, it's going to come back to Bolton.
Now, why would you stop the play if you're just going to warn a player and, you know, Essendon are into attack? I just can't believe sometimes.
Well, I think he was warning players from both teams.
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, so he wanted to make sure they stopped. I don't know. Jacobs getting it out. Barnes hasn't had an impact really in this game yet. First possession, in fact. McVeigh at the back. He read it nicely off the pack. Just couldn't take it. Mansfield missed. Second effort was all right. Beaumont, Lappin. Oh, good strong work, John Barnes. Blues had the best supporting cast, though. Mansfield gets another try at it. And it was no better. In fact, it was worse.
Well, he's putting his stamp on the game, this man, James Hurd.
He switches. He saw that Nasidi had no one around him. He's got an extra runner. This is Wellman through the middle of the ground. Looking dangerous now. Lucas had a good lead going. Ignored it. Has to find Lloyd doubling back. Oh, Lucas. Lucas will take it, surely. He couldn't. Good late work down there from Prendergast. Lloyd, he almost trying to throw that out. Somehow he got it to Barnard, who found the middle. It's almost level.
I got the prints from the guy at the lab.
Santa Snoopy, one of 4 new looks for Snoopy, Master of Disguise. Collect all 4 this week at McDonald's.
The controversial fuel additive that threatens to poison our waterways. Banned in the United States, now it could be used in South Australia.
There are so many ways that this stuff can find its way into the water system.
A special report on 7 News Monday night.
You need hands to hold someone you care for. You need tender hands to guide them on their way. You need hands to show appreciation for the way we feel today.
After 18 months at the Royal Military College Duntroon, you'll have all it takes to be a true leader. Today's Army is looking for tomorrow's leaders. So call 13 1901. The Army. The Edge.
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also do your pruning. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
If your shop or business needs computers, software, and advice, see A&R Computers. Because why pay more than you need to? For work or home, there's this little beauty. With a CD burner, printer, scanner and internet, loaded with software for a tiny $24.99. For home and work, it's A&R. A&R Computers, Port Adelaide and Melrose Park.
There is one university that gives its students real-life professional experience. Experience that better prepares them for entry into their careers. And because the modern range of degree programs is designed in consultation with industry and the professions, a graduate's degree can very quickly become a career with a high degree of satisfaction. The University of South Australia. Experience the difference.
The 2001 AFL season is shaping up to be a thriller, and we're giving you the chance to win a trip to Melbourne to share in the action of this year's grand final. All you have to do is call 1902 555 993 and tell us who won this blockbuster game between Geelong and Adelaide in round 18 last year.
He got a shot at goal. Now he gets it back to Corey. The youngsters sprints it.
Be a part of 2001's grand final fever and keep watching 7 Sunday telecasts for more chances to win.
On Today Tonight, Adelaide's rotten removalists.
Who wore that whole pavilion?
Breaking furniture, wasting time.
Turn the camera off.
Even stealing cash, all caught on camera. This week on 7.
Now let's go to the third quarter between the Bombers and the Blues.
Camporelli would go short to Rice. Kuda makes a lead. Goes even shorter than that to the outer side. Ratton, Silvani in attendance. Can push up on the wing where Lappin's leading against Heffernan. He goes for the one-on-one contest. Lappin was in front, used the body, but couldn't pull the mark in. And Houlihan, and it's out.
Yeah, sure. I think Sheed's be very disappointed because 4 opportunities already this quarter, all of them gettable. None of them weren't impossible shots, were they?
And 2 posters. A bit of a film of paint could be the difference, matter of fact, in the game.
Porter, double tap, Johnson. All Carlton, Silvani. Got a really cool bounce. Some heavy shepherding going on. Moorcroft just tried to jump over it. He's done that a couple of times this year. Now, Manton must have gone for the boundary line with that kick. He was never going to make it from there, ever. Caracella goes short into the pocket. The bounce vital there for Jacobs. Waited, and then a man popped up, and it was Johnny Barnes.
Look at this forward 50. It is just cluttered at the moment, and there's no space. There's some futile leads going on.
Lloyd made a lead. Now he leads into the pocket. Barnes ignores it. Jacobs back in the square. Caracella a marking option down there. And in the end, Fletcher's fist took it through for a behind.
What about that kick, Shorey? Barnes has either backed himself in to kick the goal, but you would argue that top of the goal square might have been a better option.
Yep. Well, if you put it on the line, it's easy to punch through. The top of the goal square, the defenders are under enormous pressure. 5 points are kicked in this quarter.
Wellman spoiling Whitnell successfully. And the ball out of bounds. Was touched, so we'll see a throw in.
This happens a lot in modern day football, doesn't it, Fish? You dominate the play, and then it goes up the other end quickly and someone scores a goal. 5 points they've kicked, 2 posters, so they haven't made the most of their opportunities.
Just watching here, boys. Roman Naskis has gone the full forward, picked up by Craig Bradley.
Bolton doing the ruck work. That time for the Bombers. Kuda helped it on its way. McVeigh right by Camporelli's side again, and it's out of bounds.
The state of the game is interesting. There's nothing in it on the scoreboard, but Essendon, for the better part of the last half an hour of the game, has been the dominant side. It's just that they haven't been able to wrest control, and it's just going to be a critical 5 or 10 minutes in this game to sort it out, I believe.
Big third quarter from the MCG. Sunday footy on 7. At the moment, the champs are down by 4, and that's a throw against Joe Mercedes. McKay gave it to Ratton without really looking what was around him. It might spell trouble. Mansfield had it dislodged. Bomber fans wanted to throw. Couple of crucial fumbles. Then a slip over. Fletcher went to ground. Now it lets the Blues in. Freeborn had Hickman on. Goes longer for Porter. The big body of Porter. Spoiled from Heffernan was wonderful. Lappin tackle again. Great desperation by the Bomber defence. Whitnell came in, and it might have been a free against Whitnell. Instead, Camporelli kicks the goal.
Oh, sure, you might want to repeat what you just said a few moments ago about all that peppering away and the opposition make you pay. And there was a fumble by Mercedes up on the wing just before this. Then Fletcher slipped over. The ball came forward. Porter slipped out the back very well indeed. And that's a good spoil by Heffernan there. He's done a good job. And
Whitnell comes in there, pressures.
With a bit of luck there. And a great finish by Camporelli. The Bombers are paying, or have paid just then, for a few misses early in this quarter.
How do you feel if you're Mark McVeigh? You've kicked the 2 behinds, hit the post twice, and then your opponent goes down and kicks that goal against the trend of, or the flow of the play.
It's a cruel game, Shorey.
It is.
Some credit to Lance Whitnell too for that his part in that last goal. 10 points the difference. Porter wins it out of the middle. Hurd. Amazing that he could be that loose. Mercedes punched away. McKay. Rice. Freeborn. Kuda was on with the run. He'll have to go again with a handball. Houlihan can run to 50 himself. Had no one to go to. He's gone. Holding the ball. Advantage paid. Kicked it quickly. Hurd. McKay to spoil. Did that well. Gets it to the line. Jacobs. He was tackled as well. Kuda starting to have an impact. Couple of little handballs. Pretty good. And Freeborn's kick this time is better. And Whitnell takes the mark and gets some treatment from Fletcher. Almost daring the umpire to pay 50. Whitnell kicks quickly, very low. Wasn't great delivery. Lappin really good in these confined spaces. Matty Lappin! Oh, that is as good as it gets!
I got the prints from the guy at the lab.
Scientist Snoopy, one of 4 new looks for Snoopy, Master of Disguise. Collect all 4 this week at McDonald's.
There's a quid to be made in buying stock from bankrupt companies and then on-selling.
He's a con man.
Can't be good if Ralph Patterson's involved in it.
He's your father.
How much will it cost?
You want to trust him.
$1,000.
But can you? Monday.
He couldn't believe he got straight through to me. He thought he'd get a computer.
If you'd rather speak to a real person, call Amy on 13 22 44.
After 18 months at the Royal Military College Duntroon, you'll have all it takes to be a true leader. Today's Army is looking for tomorrow's leaders. So call 13 19 01. The Army, the edge.
At Patrick Whelan Investments, you'll find that we're professional and caring, and that more than 30 qualified people will make sure that your money will work hardest and be secure. So phone Patrick Whelan Investments. Professional, caring, secure.
Every now and then, a ripper deal comes along. TX 68cm stereo TV, matching DVD player and matching cabinet, all for only $999. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
After some alloy wheels, sir?
My wife's going to have a baby when she finds out.
Well, we do offer 9 months interest-free on alloy wheels, so you can buy now and pay no interest for 9 months.
9 months? Yeah. Your wife could have the baby then.
9 months interest-free on all tyres and wheels. Limited time only. Call 132381 for your local store.
Cars, 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 and more cars.
At the Hilton Motor Company.
Where all you pay is $4,999 with GST included.
Or $25 a week.
Hey, you want a big car?
Want a little car?
What about a family car?
A wagon?
Want a sports car, a van, or a ute?
Want a 4-wheel drive or an 8-seater?
Hilton has them all at $4,999 or $25 a week.
Choose from over 100 vehicles.
At the Hilton Motor Company, 289 South Road, Mile End South.
$4,999 or $25 a week.
That's cheap.
Looks like a twister.
It's more than just a twister. It's a KFC satay chicken twister.
That's right, my satay chicken twister. Made from 2 succulent crispy strips with my delicious satay sauce. My satay chicken twister. It's the big peanut taste that'll blow you away!
It's terrifying.
Which team member have you had enough of?
It's embarrassing.
Dead man walking.
Who will survive the soul-destroying walk of shame? In The Weakest Link, Monday, 7:30 on 7.
It's 16 points the difference. And Carlton are going to get the centre clearance. McKay steamrolling down the ground. A wobbly old kick gives Fletcher a chance for the Bombers. He's under pressure here. They're starting to run again, the Blues. Hurd just waited. He waited well. It was a great decision. Solomon, low kick. Jacobs didn't go. Allowed Lloyd to come in and take the mark. And again, he's right on the edge of his distance here.
he's been forced out up the ground a bit, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, all day.
Might be opportunities closer to goal.
He has been. I don't think he's been forced. I think Kevin Sheedy has said they just weren't getting enough out of him by having him deep. They needed someone across half forward because Lucas hadn't done it.
Well, he's
so
starting deep. Yeah, but
he's starting about 25 metres out and leading up where he was normally starting in the square.
Boys, the lights are on here, boys, and Joe Massey just had a bit of a spell as he goes past me.
Matthew Lloyd from outside 50. Just away, a pick to the right, it's swinging back. Oh, there it is again.
What do you know?
That is unbelievable. 3 1/4.
Is that a record?
Is that a record?
That's 2 by one bloke and 1 by Lloyd.
No, is it 3 posters in a certain amount of time? That's the record.
I tell you, 7 shots of goal, 7 behinds. This could be costly.
Camberelli out wide. Mansfield takes the mark. Blues can hardly believe their luck at the moment. 3 posters for the Bombers, and in the meantime, they've kicked a couple of great goals. Hurd continues to amass possessions. One of the highest possessions games from him. 21 so far. Up to 50, and we're only just after half-time. Jason Johnson wheeling through the pack, and he misses as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were just speaking 5 minutes ago about the importance in the next 5 or 10 minutes. A couple of goals by Carlton. Bombers still peppering the points. They are getting opportunities, so they've just got to persist through it, and the goals will come. But from a first half of 9-1 to now 9-8.
Silvani, the margin 14 points, halfway stage of the third quarter. The Bombers hit back hard in the second quarter, got to within 2 points, but a Hickmott goal on half-time, and then a couple of goals since has given Carlton the impetus. Porter was strong, Barnes right there with him. Lappin had a magnificent game, kicked 3 goals. Whitnell and Wellman. How have you read that battle, Shorey?
I think Wellman's won it, but hasn't been a dominant player as he normally is because Whitnell's making him contest the ball. You don't want Sean Wellman playing across half-forward flank, half-back as a loose man.
Wellman 8 possessions, 2 marks. Whitnell 7 possessions and 6 marks.
Bolton just coming on for Barnard. Oh, sorry, Bolton just coming off for Barnard to come on the ground now.
Camberelli waded through the traffic pretty well, and his delivery was excellent for Jimmy Plunkett. Now the lead made by Fletcher. Lappin leads into the square. Whitnell's down there one-on-one with Wellman. Plunkett goes for Whitnell, goes for Lappin actually. Why not? Back a good thing. He is at the moment. No free kick. Wellman. Bombers had a lot of time. They took too long. Heffernan gave it up. Big chance for Carlton. Oh, Ratton. Handball straight to Fletcher. Mistakes everywhere down there at the moment. And eventually Heffernan able to get it towards the line. Barnard thought about whether to keep it in or not. So you thought he might have gone over the line. Jacobs coolly puts it for McGrath, but he couldn't do anything with it.
Well done.
Good tackle, McGrath, but Silvani found McKay, who knew he could find a path through. Didn't have a shot. Went for Lance at the back. Cooter forced tonight. Ratton to put the pressure on. Had Hurd on his inside, Johnson on his outside. Wasn't a bad pair to choose from. Went for Barnes. He's going to keep running here, Johnson, to make a lead out to the wing. Barnes doesn't go for him. Brings it in for McGrath. Got a couple of runners with him. Hardwick receives through the middle. They're running everywhere. It's a vacant 50. Gary Moorcroft's got the run. Lloyd goes. Oh, they can share it. Lloyd takes it. Just thought for a moment that was going to be set up for another Moorcroft hanger.
Yeah, fair enough too. There's been a flight in that ball. But it was Lloyd on this occasion. That's a very strong mark in a packed situation there, and the Bombers really needed to make the most of this opportunity. Look at that. Manton's doing everything he can to make it as hard as he can for Lloyd, but he's come to the fore this quarter, hasn't he, Matthew Lloyd?
He's been starved of opportunities during the whole game, but every time the ball's gone in his area, you'd have to say he's had the better of Manton in the one-on-ones. Just the other thing, the defensive work by Essendon under enormous pressure deep in defence was fantastic. Kept the ball alive. Well, they didn't mean to keep the ball alive, but they cleared it well under enormous pressure.
7 consecutive behinds for Essendon. Matthew Lloyd. Will it be 8th time lucky? Only just. He gets it in.
Well, the way the umpire, the goal umpire, was tracking right there. Well, don't tell me. He's just, but he has just got it through. That's a relief for all and sundry in the Bomber camp, as this transition from their defensive 50 was as clinical as we've seen it today. And Hardwick did the right thing, put it up high and long to the hot spot. Moorcroft was in Plum's position, but Matty Lloyd, who can blame him, backed himself. Good goal.
So 68 to 76. Porter has a rest. He's worked hard for the Blues, taken 4 marks and had 10 possessions. Freeborn had to release it with lots of Bombers lurking. Barnard always under pressure. Gave it up. Fletcher, quick kick out wide to the wing. Jacobs stretching out. Had to go backwards to Hurd. Had nowhere to go. Hickmott runs him down. He was on the ground already. Interception from Camporelli. It's out of bounds.
Well, young Jacobs has done the right thing. He's given it to his skipper, but I think he sold him into a bit of trouble there, didn't he, Shorey?
I think that's a senior player dominating the younger player, saying, give it here, son, I want another stat. He wasn't in the greatest of positions, Ed. I used to do it myself, Fish.
Allen in front. Ratton, Hurd right on him. Jimmy Plunkett did well to get the ball out for Beaumont, who took time to size up the situation. Allen bangs away. Heffernan to try and spoil. Oh, yeah, points him that time. Didn't spoil. Hughes and Solomon on the way out. Now Carousel to run against Franchina. Great battle between the two. Carousel paddling. Harassment was pretty good that time from Franchina. Didn't panic.
I like that move from Kevin Sheedy. Carousel now is playing as a small forward. At least if he gets the ball 2 or 3 times, he might kick a goal. In defence, he's not going to do that, Fish.
No, he's very clean around his toes too. He's shown already this quarter.
Don't forget i7sport.com.au. Chat room tonight at 7:30 with one of the Channel 7 commentators. McGrath escapes, wobbles one in towards centre-half forward. Wasn't a great kick. Bradley under pressure, but he did well. Fletcher, free kick against Lloyd.
Oh, the foot's out.
Oh, he's been booked. He has been reported, and Michael Mansfield gets in there to let him know all about it. Lloyd looks a bit bemused by the whole thing.
Oh, it didn't look like there was much in it. The umpire certainly thinks so. Let's have a look again. He's fed it off Fletcher. Oh, look out.
I'd say he's in a bit of trouble.
Bit high.
Yep. They don't like the arms raised.
How many fingers were you showing then?
Just a couple, I'd say.
He missed.
But I was giving a sign to someone down in the crowd there, Fish.
Oh, of course you were.
He got 1 game suspension early in the year against Carlton.
And nearly he had his arm raised on that occasion, but didn't look good then.
Fletcher to the wing. Good spoil from Allen. Might just add an extra bit of spice to the game as if it needed. Any hotting up. Camporelli getting it moving. Oh, push out against Solomon.
He's had a shocker today, Dean Solomon.
He's had 12 possessions, but Hickmott's had over 20. Gets it in. Barnard. Was that a shove? No, it wasn't. And Forster Knight takes it over the boundary line.
No, that was good from the umpire there. It was a good decision. Sauce knows all the tricks. And I think he just tried to pull one there. He's certainly being weighed on from behind, but umpire showed very good discretion on that occasion.
Beaumont still running with Hurd.
Whitnell doing the ruck work. Ratton. Mansfield. Wobbly kick. Free kick. Hardwick it was, who was off briefly a few moments ago, but back on. Quickly the switch for Barnard, who's having to do some work in defence. So they're starting to get this loose man running out of defence now, the Bombers. McVeigh looks up. All their men are manned up. So he goes long to a contest. Won't get to Lloyd. It's Franchina and Carousel again. Hurd, look at the way he tried to control it, get it to a teammate. He's going to get a free kick out of it. Or is the free going to go to Ramanascus? No, it's going to Hurd. He's too far out to score. Moorcroft is down there. He leads. Lloyd doubles back and then leads again into the pocket and got away from Manton that time. It was clever enough, and he's not bad from this side either.
No, he'll back himself in, and so he should. There's been a couple of standouts for both sides, hasn't there, Tony? And Hurd's one, Hickmott's the other. Ratton's been good. And this guy is threatening.
I'll tell you what, Fish, it's been a while since the crowd started to boo Matty Lloyd. I reckon it'll be about 75,500, I reckon, here today. Great crowd.
That's his 5th mark in this quarter, so every time the ball has come to him, he's had an impact.
In fact, Dougie, the last time 9 times these sides have met, they've attracted more than 60,000.
Matthew Lloyd, it's a big kick for the Bombers, and he is the man for the occasion. Lloyd kicks his 3rd.
This This news update is brought to you by the Commonwealth Bank. Make it happen.
Good afternoon. Coming up at 6 on 7 News, all the colour and action from Showdown 10. The game played out in front of the biggest crowd ever at Footy Park. All the details and highlights at 6. Also a narrow escape for a 3-day-old baby about to be put to bed when a car crashed through its bedroom. Another arrest in the West Lakes murder of Carolyn Matthews, and there could be more. And a massive turnout in London for the Queen's Mum 101st birthday. See you shortly for 7 News.
Tonight, what's up, Doc?
You got a problem with this little rabbit?
Stand clear.
Ow! Does he break the skin ever?
This bunny has bite.
Pesky little fella, isn't he?
How will Doc Harry help this wascally wabbit? Find out on Harry's Practice. Then...
Sir Subso, let's go cooking.
Nothing goes better with the beach than a good old barbie.
Okay, that's just about done.
But add a dash of Aristos, and anything can happen.
Hey, David!
All new Surprise Chef. Tonight, 7 o'clock on Channel 7.
Welcome to Travel Auctions. John Dean here. Now, why pay top dollar for a houseboat holiday when you can pick up the phone within the next hour and plan your escape at only the price you choose to pay? The top 50 bidders will be successful. Our package for up to 6 people includes 4 nights midweek accommodation with Koala Blue houseboats, moored at historic Morgan. Fully equipped houseboats feature 3 bedrooms, fully equipped kitchen, TV, video and CD player, linen and blankets, swim deck and barbecue. Normally valued at $900, today you can plan this escape and name your own price. What about a bid of $850? We'll try $795. Whatever you try, it's entirely up to you. If your bid is successful, you have 11 months to travel and some conditions apply. Ring now. Register your bid on 1300 65 65 73. That's 4 nights midweek accommodation aboard a fully equipped houseboat, normally $900. How much will you bid? Ring now. Register your bid on 1300 65 65 73. Lines open for 1 hour. Ring now.
It's caravans and pots and pans, camper trailers too. Boots and decks and anoraks, lots to see and do. Ropes to hitch and tents to pitch, come and hit the trail. The Caravan and Camping Outdoor Leisure Sale. The leading caravan camping and outdoor leisure specialists all together. Bargains all about. Just $5 admission, children under 16 free. A great family day out. Friday the 10th to Sunday the 12th of August, Royal Adelaide Showground. It's Barnacle Bill's full-on meal deal. 2 fillets of tender chicken and crispy coleslaw, a piece of freshly cooked fish and piping hot chips, 4 succulent prawns, 4 tender calamari, tartare sauce of course, and for dessert, your choice of banana or pineapple fritter. All yours for $10. Just $10, eh? A full-on meal deal, dine in or take away.
It's gotta be Barnacle Bill.
Come and see a pro at ProFix. Wanna get a price? You've got it. The right advice? You've got it. Wanna get the best? Well, put them to the test. You wanna save? Come on, get going. Join the people in the know and come and see a pro at ProFix. Yeah, come and see a pro at ProFix.
Essendon leading by a point. Last quarter from the MCG. And it's a real struggle at the moment.
Well, if people are worried about the price for finals tickets going up, Fish, as in round 17, some of the classic games we had last week, and we've had this game, you would pay $100 and more to see a game of football in a grand final.
Only
especially
if it was
like
wealthy
this.
as you, Tony. You'd have the money.
Think internationally, Fish. That's
No,
nothing, $100.
You're right on one count. We have been really treated the last couple of weeks to some great football.
Houghton back on for the Blues. Fletcher off, so they've made a change back there. Hardwick couldn't hang on to it. He's got plenty of time for his teammates, though. Solomon back into a big maze of players. Good strong work from Porter. Silvani swooping nicely. Lappin as it opens up for the Blues. Barnard buffeted off it. Whitnell trying to control it. Hickmott has been so good today. And this one is just offline.
Leave me alone, Shorey. I'm getting bashed up here. That was a whisker. And gee, wouldn't that have made a difference? But level picking again.
Fletcher, a thumping kick in, right to the wing. Wellman doubling back, couldn't take it. Mercedes, great work with the hands to get it out wide. Great tackling from Franchina, doing what he does best. Houghton waited before handballing. I'm sure the boundary line will be Prendergast's target.
You know, a drawn game might even do this game justice, you know, Shorey.
75,873 people watching. Scores level, 13-5 to 12-11. Barnes in front. Good tat. Well, it wasn't a good tat because Silvani roved it. Kicked it inside 50. Gives Ritnell a chance. Had nowhere to lay it off to. Lappin ran out of room. And don't forget i7sport.com.au and see all the ramifications from this game on the ladder, all the reports, and you'll see Matthew Lloyd's name has gone into the book and the injuries. And James Hird's name in there if you've just joined us. Hird going down with a leg injury. Looked like an ankle.
But both coaches get a lot out of this. There's Hirdy on screen there, not comfortable at all. And some of the issues I'm referring to is forcing nice jobs on Ratton. McVeigh's on Camporelli for 2.
Free kick, there's a whistle. Essendon free kick. Going the way of Blake Carosella, who gets up a little uncomfortably.
You talk about emotion in this game with Craig Bradley's 350th, whether the Carlton players will lift. They're not thinking about that out there, are they, Fish?
Oh, no, it would be playing on the mind at the moment. They're just doing whatever they can to win this game.
Wouldn't they love to get across the line
exactly.
for him, though, having said that?
That is it, right.
Forster Knight got some space to work in on the wing. Plenty of players across the 50 for the Bombers. Lloyd looks dangerous. He just couldn't get there. Porter, desperation. Lappin had the man running out. It's Camporelli having to go backwards. Silvani played a great sweeping game as the game has continued. Out wide for Houlihan. Needed a kind bounce. Got the most cruelest bounce of all time. And McGrath makes them pay. Great kick by the Bombers. They lead by a goal. That was cruel.
Wasn't it? It was great composure under a lot of pressure. That young man there has been introduced to league football this year and has really made a mark and shown the football world that he can. He's got something to go on with. There's Silvani, cross goal, always risky, isn't it? And the bounce there just caught Houlihan. A good feed and good composure, good steady stuff from the young bloke. Now only a goal of difference, exciting stuff.
You can see Wayne Britton there. He'd be saying, well, Sauce, you're going to take the risk of kicking across goal. You've got to make the distance. Maybe a bit tired. The older legs there just couldn't get enough on that ball. But a costly error at a time when, you know, they're still right in this game, though.
Back to a 6-point margin in favour of the Bombers. Camporelli, they're still having an influence in the middle. Ratton, Camporelli and Bradley. Not as much as earlier on, but they're still in amongst it. 6 points the difference. James Hird off injured, 23 possessions. McVeigh's had 11. Wellman 11. 20 for Jason Johnson, 15 Barnard, 11 for Lloyd and 3 goals too. Mercedes 13, Carosella 17, Dustin Fletcher 14.
Gee, they're still verbalising out there. It's just been a great game physically, but they're still mentally involved too.
Yep.
Halfway stage of the last quarter. Barnes a little deft touch. Forster Knight, quick kick McKay. Gets them forward. Fletcher in best position. One-on-one against Kuda, who kept his legs and got the ball loose. Ratton. Oh, McCurry, well done. High tackle. He ducked a little bit, but it was certainly high. Oh, he handballed it. Barnard off half-back. Thumps it long and high. Jacobs, Solomon. No one really looked likely to take the mark. Lucas, late on the scene. Hickmont worked him out of it. Moorcroft. Hickmont again. Boundary line looming. It's not out yet. Ramanauskas, it is out.
Talk about some of those players. Ratton had 20 possessions in the first half. He's had 6 in the second. And Hickmont's had 20 in the first, had 4 in the second. So their impact's been quelled fairly well by the Essendon side.
Porter. And again, Jacobs doing the ruck work. Jason Johnson, nothing effective about that. McCurry, always effective. McGrath, Ramanauskas, it's a wobbly one. Designed for Barnes, but Silvani got back. 6 points still the margin. The Blues trying to get some run. Camporelli, oh dear. Matthew Lloyd gets a gift. You couldn't kick it to a worse man. They put a bow on it, and he kicks the goal.
Shades of ochre, by Stavros Pipos is now available in a beautifully crafted limited edition. Never has the South Australian landscape been captured so completely in one magnificent volume. Each book, numbered and signed by the artist, is limited to only 500 copies. This leather-bound special edition is available direct from the publisher for just $295. Reserve your copy by calling Endeavour Publishing during office hours on 8239 2275.
There's less than an hour left for you to place your bid in tonight's houseboat travel auction. It is an auction, and the top 50 bidders will be successful. Our package for up to 6 people includes 4 nights midweek accommodation aboard a 3-bedroom, 6-berth, fully equipped houseboat moored at Morgan, plying the beautiful River Murray. Normally $900. Ring now, bid whatever you choose to pay, and if successful, we give you 11 months to travel. Ring now, register your bid. How much will you bid? 1300 65 65 73.
Look at McClay's rug prices, an 8x5 for only $99. Jeffrey, you've given up your exercise.
Yes, Bobby. My body is a temple. This beats running around. What have they got down there, Bob?
Jeffrey, Twiston Plus, 1/3 off. Remnants and part rolls of quality carpets up to 75% off.
Stock vinyl up to 50% off. Prices are coming down and down.
Price crash. McClay's open 7 days. Your body is a temple?
Here they are again at John's Leather. $7.95. $7.95. All leather recliner value you can hardly go past. And yes, your choice of 4 colours. Quality, price. Hey, how can you buy better? So don't miss out this time. Hurry into John's Leather Warehouse.
The choice is yours, it's on display, and you can take it home today. John's Leather Warehouse, buy direct for immediate delivery.
It could be a part or a spare. It might be just one or a pair. A dozen, a score. There's one thing for sure. You'll never know what you'll find there.
Paramount Browns. New hardware and machinery. Factory surplus and second-hand just about anything.
You'll find it in kilos and pounds. You'll find it on heaps and on mounds. In gallons and litres. In yards and in metres. You'll find it at Paramount Browns.
Cash for scrap. 99 Cavan Road, Cavan.
You'll find it at Paramount Browns.
Why are Adelaide's 8 hair machine salons these?
On the catwalk.
Come and see us.
Salon of the Year.
There's less than an hour left for you to place your bid in tonight's houseboat travel auction. It is an auction, and the top 50 bidders will be successful. Our package for up to 6 people includes 4 nights midweek accommodation aboard a 3-bedroom, 6-berth, fully equipped houseboat moored at Morgan, plying the beautiful River Murray. Normally $900. Ring now, bid whatever you choose to pay, and if successful, we give you 11 months to travel. Ring now, register your bid. How much will you bid? 1300 65 65 73.
Sevens Football Telecast, proudly brought to you by West End Draft, McDonald's, Mac Your Day, and Mitsubishi Motors, driving your world.
This is fantastic football.
Beaumont a fumble. Caracella, a quick kick. Koutafidis floats it. Prendergast under pressure. Got it away to Jimmy Plunkett. He missed it. No free kick. Handball away from Jacobs. Alessio, watch out. Couldn't get through Fletcher. He's gone. Advantage paid. It's up the full forward. There's a big chance.
They've brought it back. No advantage there. They saw where the kick went. 2 big men, Allen and Alessio, you just look like they're a bit rusty, haven't played a lot of football.
It's so important, sure, to keep it simple.
Yep.
Under pressure.
Distance.
Yep.
Whitnell wants it long. He wants it long. Allen. Oh! But it's a mark anyway. It's a mark anyway. Matthew Lappin. What an impact he's had today. 3 goals, 3. One of the greatest soccer goals you're ever likely to see from the forward pocket.
I tell you what, a lot of the demons of the past as he goes in to kick for goal.
Oh, gee, he made the goal umpire work for it. They're claiming it's a point. Hardwick reckons it's a point, but it's a goal. Hardwick arguing that it hit the post.
Oh, I tell you what. Look, you can't pick a trend. There's no point in even trying. This is a war of attrition. This is a game where both sides will arm wrestle to the end, and it's just going to be a toss of the coin who ends up in front. And that was a wonderful grab for a bloke who's strong overhead.
You just wonder whether the Blues can feel the other side of the coin from last week, Fish. They've been on the end of it, whether they can hang on.
Blues back in front at the MCG. Jason Johnson hasn't changed his work rate. Moorcroft couldn't handle it. McCurry pushed it wide, gives Carlton a chance. Good tackling by the Bombers. Massini had to get rid of it. All Carlton back there across half back. Ratton dragged down, desperation by McCurry. Prendergast measured the kick, got it right in the end. Yes, he did. Beaumont returned to the ground. Carlton hanging on by a point. We've got 24.5 minutes in this last quarter. And Carlton, they did it in round 3. Beaumont drives it long. Whitnell the target. Wellman. Whitnell kept on going. They forced it forward. Plunkett couldn't release the handle. That is tough stuff by Barnard.
Well, they're thinking now, Fish, if you're going to make a mistake, make sure it's a long one. You've got to get distance either end of the ground. Great tackle. That just shows, that typifies what has happened today for 100-odd minutes.
What a struggle it's going to be from here. Barnard, Whitnell, a fumble. Every mistake will cost. How much is the question? Whitnell goes in again, gets some support. Beaumont missed the target. Camporelli. And it's out of bounds.
Well, if the 70-odd thousand people don't stand up as one, no matter the result of this game, and clap these players.
I can assure you they won't. Not these two camps.
Barnard, Fletcher. Could be decisive, that tap. Wellman, suddenly it's in the Essendon forward line. Lloyd versus Madden and Silvani. He's bearing down on him, Lloyd. Madden did well. Silvani under pressure. Just got rid of it in time. Just in time. The pressure unbelievable. McKay out wide on hands and knees. Lance takes the mark and then waits. Moves it on. Gets them going. Camporelli. He's going to hold it up. They don't know how long there is to go.
No, they don't. It's a little bit too early. I'd suggest them starting to control the ball like this. But nonetheless, any second they can draw and use up will be valuable at the end of the day.
No one on the mark.
No one on the mark. So he can just play on and now wait. That's what he's going to do. Plays on and waits. Has a couple of extraordinary scenes. Smart thinking in some ways.
He's taken 3 bounces for every metre he's walked.
Long kick to 50. Fletcher almost. Koutafidis. Anthony Koutafidis.
Oh,
what an impact. Lappin will take the mark. Does he go on? No, he doesn't. Anthony Koutafidis.
Well, where did he come from? Sure, he was in the
crowd.
Because how did he get on his own?
Matthew Lappin all on his own, and suddenly the Blues could lead by 7.
He must have been hiding in the flockers or something behind the goals, because I can't understand how he's on his own.
Well, Chris Heffernan has had the job. Whether they've changed McCurry to him in that stanza of play, I'm not too certain. But good play by Whitnell then, because he didn't have to kick the ball while no one was on the mark. But how could you get that clear?
This is his 9th shot at goal, Lappin. What a day out. Going for his 5th.
What a kick for Matthew Lappin. He's got it. He's done the job. They lead by 7. What an amazing game.
I'd love someone to tell me when the last time the Bombers lost 2 in a row was. There's still time for no doubt about that, but I'm just looking around the field now and see some of the Bomber boys. I saw a couple of heads drop. I don't know how long there is to go, of course. That was a wonderful kick inside 50. And then you had a panic, Lappin. Wow. Great stuff.
Ramanauskas is on Matthew Lappin at the moment, but he was nowhere to be seen then. Wayne Britton, along with his effort in round 3, it would be his most famous of victories, and boy do the Blues need it at this time of the year. It would consolidate their place in the 8, which has been under threat. This man in his 350th, Craig Bradley, taking his time, trying to run the clock down.
Well, he's got to set this up well because Whitnell was on if he turned around quick, but he's an experienced player. There's no doubt he knew what he was doing. He'll be told to kick the ball fairly quickly by the umpire, I'd say.
What an impact the loss of James Hird has had on this game.
Yeah.
His opposite skipper, Craig Bradley, goes for a tall.
Oh, look at that. That was beauty.
And it's out of bounds. No, is it out of bounds now? No, it's still not out of bounds. Barnard helped it along the line, and that'll help Essendon's cause, but they have to get it moving.
They need to find something. They need to do nothing else now but take some risks. There's nothing to lose. They're 2 scoring shots behind, of course. They need to find some space, find it quick.
Alessio, Ratton, forced denied, a bounce. The Blues trying to hold it up. 16-6, 102 to 14-11, 95. The Bombers suddenly vulnerable, especially without their captain James Hird, who looks injured. Matthew Lloyd on report. What a season it's been. And we've had some big matches at the MCG on Sundays in recent weeks. First there was the Kangaroos Bombers Classic, then there was last week's drama, and now this, the Bombers. Solomon under pressure, Houlihan out of bounds. It all suits Carlton. They're wrapping it up.
Well, they certainly are, Hutto, and they're doing it in fine style. They all day have been really committed to the task, very disciplined to the game plan. Hickmont's down. He's had a quiet patch in the second half, but he's even come to life in the last 10 minutes.
Well, it was in that marking contest against Solomon just before. He's a bit wobbly on the feet.
Alessio from behind. Bombers need to get a breakaway, but instead it's Beaumont, the man who was on Hird earlier. He misses the lot, so it gives Essendon still an opportunity.
We won't get too many more, Hutto. They've got to get forward.
Dangerous kick.
Oh, look out.
It was dangerous, but Barnard nowhere to go. Hooked it around the corner. McKay, he's played a grand last quarter, and he sees it safely to the line.
I think at that time when he attacked the ball at half forward, say 7 minutes ago, it's really that nearly has turned the game also.
It was a turning point.
Fletcher from behind wins the tap. Essendon need to get it running. Maybe there's still a chapter to go in this game. McGrath just bombs for dear life. Houghton getting back there. Whitnell the spoil. Lloyd was circling, released the handball for Bolton. Silvani, great desperation. Lloyd still trying. He's got to get it moving. Lucas is there, went off the ground. Mercedes, he's got McGrath inboard. Can't get it to him. It's out on the full. It's out on the full. And the Bombers' hopes disappearing as that ball went over the line. There's no doubt that Glenn Manton will take a long time, or Stephen Silvani. Carlton leading by 7 points. What a win this is going to be for Carlton. So much has happened between these two sides in recent years. Of course, the famous preliminary final. Hard to ever top that for real drama. Earlier this year, amazing when Carlton won without their 3 stars. Whitnell.
He's been good.
He had the ball and kicked a huge goal in that match back in '99 in a similar position when they were kicking the other way late in the last quarter.
His 9th mark today, Hutto. He's come back into the team and...
The clock counts down. Carlton won! Carlton have won! Another famous win for Wayne Brenton. The Blues have sealed their place in the 8 and they've beaten their most fierce of rivals in recent years.
Seven's football telecast is proudly brought to you by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy. And Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.
Channel 7 now brings you the dividends from... For the Lotto draw here every Saturday night, SA Lotto every Monday, Oz Lotto every Tuesday and Powerball on Thursday night, all appearing at 8:30 p.m. here on 7.
got it made.
By the time you can afford what you want, you'll be too old to appreciate it. Why wait? Get a personal loan from the Commonwealth Bank. Call 13 14 31 and make it happen.
If the Laser LXI's list of features makes you dizzy, wait until you see the price. Ford Laser, outstanding value from just $19,990.
On Today Tonight, Adelaide's rotten removalists. Breaking furniture, wasting time.
Turn the camera off.
Even stealing cash. All caught on camera. This week on 7. Lawrence Fishburne and Stephen Baldwin star in tonight's thrilling action movie, Fled. Premieres tonight on Channel 7, number 1 in Adelaide. Number 1 in Adelaide.
This is 7 News.
Tonight, more arrests possible over the murder of a Westlakes mother. A tiny baby's miraculous escape as a car ploughs into his bedroom. And the Power fights back to win Showdown 10.
With John Riddell.
Good evening. First tonight, major crime detectives haven't ruled out another arrest in relation to the murder of Westlake's mother of 3, Carolyn Matthews. Already 2 people have been charged. Last Thursday, a 26-year-old man was arrested, and last night police charged his de facto, a 27-year-old Craigmore woman.
This is the woman major crime detectives arrested just after 5 last night. She's mother of 2, Michelle Burgess. She spent the night at the City Watch House and will face murder charges in the Adelaide Magistrates Court tomorrow. On Thursday, her de facto David Key was arrested and charged. He's now in custody at the Adelaide Remand Centre. Close friend Jason Colenso tried to speak with the pair today but was denied access by police.
They're both innocent. I'd like to say more, but I can't. And they're both shocked, you know, that they've both been implicated in this.
37-year-old Carolyn Matthews was stabbed to death with a kitchen knife 3 weeks ago. She was found unconscious by her husband Kevin and 3 young sons who'd left the house for just 20 minutes to hire some videos. Mr Colenso claims the latest arrest has taken Mr Matthews by surprise.
He's shocked because Michelle's a family friend, you know. He's just shocked.
Police are investigating at least 1 more person, with another arrest possible within days. They're still appealing for anyone with information to come forward. Jessica Sullivan, 7 News.
A crisis meeting crucial to the crippled Australian car industry is still underway in Sydney, but as yet there's no breakthrough in the TriStar dispute, which is likely to have far-reaching effects on the nation's industrial relations.
Union officials arrive for crucial talks on a dispute which may help to shape the future protection of all workers' entitlements.
We're prepared to stay here all night, as Bob Hawke used to say, call the pizza, but we won't leave till we've got a fix.
300 workers at Sydney's car parts plant TriStar have gone on strike. They want their entitlements secured as part of a new wage deal. The dispute has paralysed the nation's car manufacturing industry. Thousands of workers stood down, production lines halted. The unions want a special fund, ManuSafe, made up from employer contributions.
We are not going to be dogmatic about anything. We want to take a reasonable position to the table. We want this dispute resolved.
TriStar says it wants the same.
The answer is very clear. I think everyone wants the dispute settled.
The company is backed by an industry group and it's proposed an insurance bond as a guarantee. The dispute is seen as a test case after a series of corporate failures. But the federal government is maintaining a hard line.
You don't compromise with this kind of union bloody-mindedness.
The talks have gone on for several hours today. The dispute is due back in the Industrial Relations Commission tomorrow afternoon. Chris Marr, 7 News.
Strikingly similar road accidents near Motafoya Hill at North Adelaide overnight have left one man dead and another critical. Just before midnight, emergency crews were called to War Memorial Drive where a car had collided with a tree. Accident rescue teams worked frantically to free the 20-year-old driver. He was rushed to Royal Adelaide Hospital suffering critical injuries. Within hours, similar scenes just a few hundred metres away on Jeffcott Street near Motafoya Hill. Another car into another tree, this time with fatal consequences. The victim was a 25-year-old man from Modbury North. His death brings the state's road toll to 88 compared to 99 at this time last year. And a 9-year-old girl is dead, at least 10 other people injured after a car ploughed into pedestrians in the heart of Surfers Paradise today. The car was sent hurtling out of control after colliding with a truck. It then careered into dozens of tourists and shoppers. The Gold Coast Hospital was put on full alert as paramedics battled to cope with the injured. 2 other young girls and 2 men are in intensive care. A family of 8 has narrowly escaped injury after a car ploughed through their house at Smithfield. The car smashed through a bedroom where a 3-day-old baby was about to be put in his cot.
The accident happened about 11:30 this morning when a 29-year-old man lost control of his Commodore in Morialta Drive at Smithfield.
Got to an intersection, decided to do a burnout, lost control, full throttle, up the driveway, into a house, and yeah, could have killed a young baby.
Julie Sposito and her family were inside the house.
My daughter was in the lounge room with the little one, just getting him ready to put to bed. Anyhow, my daughter come in screaming. She goes, "Mum, quick!" Loud bang.
At first I thought it might have been the playground, but then coming out and actually seeing it on the front lawn is one of those experiences you don't want to go through.
Residents of this street say they're worried about the safety of neighbourhood kids, with cars regularly doing burnouts and having drag races right past the local playground. Mr John has banned his children from playing in their front yard, worried someone could get killed. Police understand his concern.
This sort of behaviour has its inherent dangers, as we can see here today. Unfortunately, it's hit the house. It could well have been a playground.
The driver of the car was taken to the Lyle McEwen Hospital with minor injuries. Police expect to interview him late today. Sharon Smith, 7 News.
Emotions were running high today at Football Park where a record crowd turned out for Showdown 10. The Crows went into the game as underdogs but gave the crowd of nearly 50,000 their money's worth as they got to within 8 points of the Power by the final siren.
In your record in a Showdown 10!
The crowd and the excitement began building early. With the car parks and stands brimming, all attention was on the game. The Power Crows rivalry as strong as ever.
It's like this, we're on the edge of our seats, but I know we can do it. We've tipped the boys, everyone's tipped Port, they're going to come through with it.
What am I expecting? To win? Nothing but. Always win.
Crow supporters here today who could probably be a bit misguided in their faith and probably return home losers today.
We're going to win, I hope. But we knew Port's going to win it.
No crazy.
The game sold out by Thursday night. A record 49,846 people filing through the gates.
We're the pride of South Australia. We're the mighty LA Crows. Stop, stop, till we're top. There's history here in the making.
We'll have the full game details later in sport. Jennifer Ashcroft, 7 News.
Coming up after the break, celebrations for the Queen Mum as she turns 101. And also for American adventurer Steve Fawcett, who's finally up and away.
Feel the need for speed? Brace yourself for the next 7 blockbuster premiere.
The hell is that? Sounds like a train.
2 men, 2 crimes, 1 chain.
So what, you don't like white people now, is that it? No, I just don't like you.
The hottest ride since The Fugitive, with a twist you'll never see coming. The Matrix's Lawrence Fishburne and Stephen Baldwin.
Let's do this.
Fled premieres tonight.
David Jones is pleased to announce 3 years interest-free for a limited time on our entire range of home entertainment, including our range of Philips Design Line widescreen televisions. For 3 years interest-free.
David Jones.
The dynamic Leo Sayer returns.
You make me feel like dancing.
Giving it all away for one night only.
Well, I'm a one-man band.
Leo Sayer and his 5-man band perform all his hits and more. Don't miss Leo Sayer in concert at his very best. Proudly presented by Leonard Promotions. Book at the usual outlets. Hot and spicy barbecue. Now, a chicken treat.
Would it be too impolite for me to ask for an earlier date? Like I'm sorry, teacher. I must have time to think. What did the previous tenant do? Oh, they were not alive.
If you smoke around your kids, they smoke too. Make your home and car smoke-free.
Local unions have thrown their weight behind veterans of the Maralinga atomic bomb test in the 50s, backing a call for compensation. They say there's still a cloud hanging over the issue, with thousands of South Australians suffering and dying as a result of radiation exposure. About 100 people attended a public meeting to tie in with Hiroshima Day tomorrow. There's a vigil tonight at the War Memorial in North Terrace. Overseas now, on the favourite royal, the Queen Mother has celebrated her 101st birthday with her family, the people of London, and to top it all off, a night at the ballet.
"7,000 people turned out to celebrate the birthday of the oldest and most loved royal. Plans had been in doubt when the Queen Mother was admitted to hospital. But true to her reputation, she wasn't about to let age or illness keep her away.
I think her quality of life and her discipline is something to be admired. She's fantastic, absolutely incredible.
There was an anxious moment when she briefly lost her balance, but she continued to stand. Dozens of children greeted her with cards and flowers. Then the Queen Mother took to her buggy to move through the crowds of well-wishers.
It's very touching. Thank you. I cherish that.
And Prince Charles joined the celebrations, leaving hospital after his polo fall. But 70-year-old Princess Margaret appeared frail, still recovering from a series of strokes. The tributes continued with a 41-gun salute in Hyde Park, lunch with 4 generations of the royal family, then a night at the ballet at Covent Garden. Louise Negline, 7 News.
American balloonist Steve Fossett is somewhere above Central Australia tonight after a spectacular lift-off east of Perth. Following months of delays, Fossett set off at first light in his attempt to become the first person to fly a balloon solo around the world.
The moment Steve Fossett was beginning to think might never arrive. Lift-off into an exhilarating world fraught with danger. Northam provided a breathtaking backdrop. The Avon Valley fog, the sun heralding a historic day, the balloon floating skyward like a giant silver cone. Minutes later, drama, with the balloon plunging back towards Earth. 7 News can show you cabin cam. Pilot Steve Fossett frantically throwing sand overboard to reduce the cabin's weight. The balloon regains its upward momentum, but Fossett radios he's having major communication trouble. A shaky start, but this lifetime adventurer remains positive. Tonight, the 57-year-old American is flying 10 kilometres above Central Australia. He expects to cross the east coast near Brisbane tomorrow lunchtime before circling the globe, returning to WA in just over 2 weeks. So on his 6th attempt, Steve Fossett is finally flying his way into the record books. If the stunning start is anything to go by, the billionaire balloonist is in for one hell of a ride. Mark Gibson, 7 News.
Speaking of hot air, Chris Dittmar joins us. Hey, the showdown today, that was a beauty.
Certainly wasn't everything. I mean, the crowd was brilliant. The Crows jumped away and then Port hit back and then it went all the way down to the wire. It was a great game. And after the break, we'll hear from the players and the coaches. Also, Essendon loses again and Australia retains the Ashes.
They've won their 7th Ashes series in a row. They're 3-0 up in the series.
Teachers are kissing students.
What? You kissed Dana Poole?
If you want my resignation, you got it.
Students are getting caught by teachers. And teachers are getting with teachers. And that's all before the lunch bell. Monday on Boston Public.
LG Psyking. Bag-free technology for a more powerful suction. Clean after clean after clean. LG. Life's good.
If you really want fresh breath confidence and stain-free white teeth, chew Glean Whitening sugar-free gum every time you eat, smoke or drink. Only Glean Whitening has a proven 3-way action to fight tooth decay, to neutralise harmful food acids, and gently remove stains caused by food, smoke and coffee. Clinically tested and approved by dentists. Glean Whitening, the most advanced whitening gum in the world.
From Ferndale, taking Aussie brands to the world.
On behalf of the captain and crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard Flight 2001 to Mount Hoffman.
Just in time.
Hi.
Oh, that's great. Did you get it from that little Malaysian place down the road? How much do I owe?
About $25.
25 bucks. Fair enough.
Thanks.
New from Sunrise. Authentic rice meal kits.
It's the Toyota dealers gone in 30-day sale. During August at your Toyota dealer, cruise away in a Corolla Ascent with air conditioning at a run-out price from $19,990. The Toyota dealers gone in 30-day sale. It's a steal.
Welcome back, and Port Adelaide's fought back to win Showdown 10 by 8 points. The Crows were more than 6 goals clear early in the second quarter, but Jared Schofield and Matthew Primus led a power revival. Port now leads the Showdown battle 6-4.
Football Park was bursting at the seams and the record crowd saw Rashudo and Wanganeen start in attack and they traded goals in an electric opening. The pressure was intense and the Crows adapted best, capitalising on several Port turnovers to take a 3-goal lead into quarter time.
He does. How's that?
And with the first 3 goals of the second term, the Crows sprinted 37 points clear.
He is a genius.
2 Fabian Francis goals woke Port from its slumber. Coach Williams shifted Primus forward and it turned the match. He kicked 3 second quarter goals as Port piled on 6 without reply. Johnson hit back, but the Crows' lead was reduced to just 7 points at half-time.
It's a goal. Johnson has kicked the goal.
Port carried its momentum into the third term. With 2 quick goals, it took the lead for the first time. As players put their bodies on the line, Williams had Port deliberately bottle the game up near the grandstand boundary. The Crows couldn't use the win to their advantage, and when Paxman goaled on the siren, the Power could sense victory.
He has kicked the biggest goal of the match so far.
But Adelaide wouldn't lie down. It hit hard and pushed forward relentlessly into the wind. The Crows outscored Port in the last quarter, cutting the deficit to 8 points. But time beat them home.
That's it.
Every time we play the Crows, it's hard, and there's nothing better than Port Adelaide Light than beating the Crows on Footy Park.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been great wins for the club, and we've got to take a lot of confidence out because they've been 2 very big games, sort of finals atmosphere games, and if we're going to play well in the finals, and that's where we want to be, we've got to win these sort of games.
And this is what the coaches had to say about Showdown 10.
To get our players in tune for a finals game, the last 2 weeks has been sensational. You know, Adelaide threw everything that they could, and they should be very proud. Their supporters should be proud of what efforts they gave today. You know, You know, I'd watched them a few times and they haven't played like that for a while. They really play good footy.
I'm always instructing the players and telling them that if you're going to lose, it's got to be on your terms and not necessarily because you've thrown in the towel or you've given up or you've stopped working or you've stopped making things happen, you've stopped supporting each other. And I think for most of the game we probably did that.
We have done some extra work this week as far as running is concerned. I think that, you know, we have a view of making sure that our players are, you know, tip-top shape by round 22. And, you know, given the result today, it seems like we'll make the finals now, which is a great achievement and one that everyone at the club should be very proud of.
Their ability in the ruck just beat our three guys, I thought. And I just felt they were probably a bit cleaner and a bit sharper around the stoppages.
All that was left was to accept the trophy.
We'd just like to thank Western, obviously, and thank the boys for putting in a great effort today. It was a fantastic game, and when it came to the crunch time of that second quarter, they really showed something, so thanks very much.
No problem. Bill, the medal, who got it this one?
For the second time this year, the West End medal goes to Josh Franco.
I feel a bit embarrassed getting this. I didn't think I deserved it, but it was a great effort by all the boys, and it was a pretty special day for Brett and myself, and to have a win was great.
For 100 gamers, Franco and Montgomery, a perfect day.
And at the MCG, Carlton beat Essendon for the second time this year. The Blues won a thriller by 7 points. It's the first time since 1999 the Bombers has lost 2 matches in a row.
Plenty of feeling in this heavyweight bout. The spoils were even in the first 20 minutes before Carlton's midfield got the Blues on top. Essendon's defenders caught flat-footed.
And it just couldn't make it through. Still there, I'll happen, he'll kick that. No worries about that.
Carlton out to a 26-point lead before James Hird came into the game. Ramanauskas sliced his way through the centre and found his skipper.
Go for home. He passed to Hirdy, who wants it and gets it.
The Blues flooded back hard to stem the tide, but the Bombers bounced out again in the third term, only to hit the post 3 times in 10 minutes. At the other end, Lappin stole one from the Dacos files.
In these confined spaces, Matty Lappin! Oh, that is as good as it gets!
Lloyd was reported. Hird went down with an ankle, but Essendon hit the front. A rare Camporelli mistake, and Lloyd had them 2 goals clear.
Gets a gift. You couldn't kick it to a worse man.
But Carlton wasn't to be denied.
Lappin, it's a mark anyway.
Lappin bobbed up twice more to give the Blues another memorable victory.
Anthony Cooner fingers. What an impact. Lappin will take the mark. Does he go?
Brisbane's tightened its grip on a home final, outlasting the Bulldogs at the Gabba. The Lions kicked 6 goals to 3 in the last quarter for a 33-point win.
On the left from 60. Gee, that's a great kick. Left foot goal.
And West Coast has made light work of St Kilda at Subiaco. Dion Heyman, 7 News.
The Eagles broke away during the second quarter and are cruising to their 4th win of the year. So looking at the ladder, and Essendon's only a game clear of Brisbane. They're followed by Port, Hawthorn and Richmond. Collingwood's just clinging to 8th spot. Geelong, Adelaide and the Bulldogs are only percentage outside the 8. The Kangaroos seem to have lost touch and Fremantle is still on the bottom. To cricket, and Australian captain Steve Waugh's Ashes series could be over after he badly tore a calf muscle at Trent Bridge. The skipper was in hospital having tests when his team retained the Ashes. The Aussies won by 7 wickets and now have an unbeatable 3-0 lead in the best-of-5 series.
3 captains have reigned over this latest dynasty. Fittingly, all 3 were at Trent Bridge today, and they would have revelled in Australia's start. Gillespie got Ward with his 5th ball of the morning.
Ian Ward goes.
Croft played on in Gillespie's next over.
Dragged into his stumps.
Then Caddick became the Australian paceman's 100th test scalp. He'd taken 3 for 6 from 9 balls.
Kicks the turf.
Warne completed the rout, 6 for 33, his best haul since '95, and his best ever innings figures overseas. 158, a target smaller than anticipated, but the pursuit was tense. Slater on 12 was sent packing, and Hayden should have joined him shortly after. By lunch, Australia needed 90, but the drama was just starting. Croft got Ponting for 17, and Hayden's no shot to Tudor proved fatal. Trent Bridge erupted as finally England's players smelt blood. talent and heart have carried Steve Waugh through many similar crises. Today, his 36-year-old legs couldn't.
Steve Waugh's got a problem straight away.
In agony with a badly damaged calf, the skipper needed a stretcher as the middle order was exposed to a ball just 19 overs old. But Mark Waugh and Martin refused to freeze in the spotlight. Between persistent rain delays, they rattled off the 69 to win in just 10 overs. The winning run, a Caddick no ball, coming at 4 o'clock on day 3 and sparking wild celebrations.
Australia have won their 7th Ashes series in a row. They're 3-0 up in the series, and England have been demolished.
This mighty Australian team has now won 19 of its last 21 tests, but the players celebrate today with their skipper in hospital. But the Aussies weren't short of support. Many of the players had family in the crowd. It made their lap of honour even more special.
This is outrageous. This is just a lot of work. It's great fun. How good's this, lads? How good is it? Yeah, it's pretty special, mate. Win the Ashes is pretty good. We have a lot of Aussies here watching us too, which is great.
Mate, 3-zip, it's just, mate, it's magnificent.
But dressing room revelry was subdued for several hours until the team leader arrived back from hospital.
Oh, look, it's not too good at the moment, but I'm sure later on tonight we're not going to be feeling too much. You know, we've won the Ashes 3-0, so that's a great result for the side, so I'm really pleased for everyone.
The team's not due to travel until Tuesday. This party and the hangover could be monumental. In Nottingham, Pat Welch, 7 News.
Great effort. And finally, Pat Rafter will play Andre Pavel in the final of the Masters Series event in Montreal. Golfer Carrie Webber's only 2 shots off the pace after the 3rd round of the Women's British Open. And Jack, just a reminder, the Showdown 10 will be replayed here tomorrow night on Channel 7 from 10:30. If you want to wager, I'm going for Port.
You go for Port?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, all right, I'll take that.
All right.
Thanks, Chris. Well, it turned out to be a beautiful day in Adelaide today, but what's in store for us for the rest of the week? I don't know, but Cheryl Lee does after the break.
Honda Civic with VTEC, for those who love advanced engineering.
Here they are again at John's Leather, $7.95. $7.95. All leather recliner value you can hardly go past. And yes, your choice of 4 colours. Quality, price. Hey, how can you buy better? So don't miss out this time. Hurry into John's Leather Warehouse.
The choice is yours, it's on display, and you can take it home today. John's Leather Warehouse, buy direct for immediate delivery.
Europe's best TV, Lerva, with hi-fi stereo sound, teletext and superb 68cm picture, has just got better with $100 off the price. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
The car's like new. Andy didn't lose his rating 1.
At Amy, if you've held a rating 1 for the last 3 years, you keep it for life. So call Amy.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Cunningham said, who's been calling me Cano? I said, dunno, Cano. Tiffany called us kettles just $19.99. 4-slice toasters just $19.99. What do you normally pay for one of them ones?
I don't know, I eat cereal.
Hand mixer or hand blender, $19.99. Colgate flexible toothbrushes, 3 for $2. Big sketch pads at $1.50. Ladies' purses, just $5.99. And who's got the biggest range of $2 lollies?
Don't know.
What's up, Doc?
Ow.
Stand clear. This bunny has bite.
Pesky little fella, isn't he?
How will Doc Harry help this wascally wabbit? Find out next.
Hello again. Despite the fact that Adelaide stayed mainly fine this afternoon, the showers did continue as far west as Ceduna and as far north as Clare. Temperature-wise, our maximum reached 15.6 at 1:30 this afternoon and our low was 11.2 at 7 this morning. Right now it's 12 degrees in the city. On our satellite picture tonight, most of the continent is still cloud-free under the influence of a large high-pressure system with all the activity down south. Well, taking to the skies, there's the system that gave us the wet conditions over the past last 24 hours, and you can see some low-level cloud behind that, which will continue to produce a few isolated showers tonight and tomorrow morning. Looking at the charts, this high-pressure system will move over our state tomorrow, causing winds to turn northwest to northerly. Then on Tuesday, that cold front here will move across our agricultural districts and arrive in Adelaide by about lunchtime, bringing cooler south to southwesterly winds and rain to most districts. Then another rapidly moving high will give us fine conditions again by Thursday. Interstate tomorrow, windy with showers over in Perth, fine and sunny for Broome, Darwin and Alice Springs, fine also for Cairns, Brisbane and Sydney, showers in Melbourne and rain down in Hobart. Well, back home today, the sunshine did break through in Adelaide, but there were moderate falls over the Mount Lofty ranges and light falls elsewhere. The highest gauging recorded to 3 p.m. was 7 millimetres at Udunda. Temperatures range from 21 degrees at Mari and Moomba down to just 12 at Parawa. Our forecast is for a strong wind warning and isolated showers to continue tonight for the south and southeast coast. Then tomorrow we'll have early morning frost and fog patches with a cool day to follow, but it will stay mainly fine apart from a light shower in the morning. On our local waters, winds easing. We'll get southwest to northwesterly winds of 5 to 10 knots with seas below 1 metre. And in the city, partly cloudy but a mainly fine day. Our top will reach 16 degrees after an overnight low of 7. And looking ahead, Tuesday we'll have a wet day with a top of 14, a few showers and 15 on Wednesday, then warming up to a pleasant 19 degrees on Thursday. And it looks like the rest of the week will remain fine with temperatures in the high teens. That's it from me. Have a great week. Good night.
Thanks, Shirley. Just before we go, let's check out some of those speed camera locations for tomorrow. Police haven't provided any details about locations south or east of the city, but there are plenty of spots in northern and western suburbs. Take care along Regency and Churchill Roads, also North East Road at Collinswood and on Salisbury Highway. In the west, you'll find a camera on Tapley's Hill Road at Hendon and a couple more out Cheltenham Way. As always, wherever you're driving, keep an eye on that speedo. Not the speedos you're wearing. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.
#1 in Adelaide.
This program brought to you by the new Snappy Tom, the brand that's canned fresh, so it's the cat's choice.